The Grand Council chamber fell silent as Ambassador Jakral of the Viridian Empire stood before the assembled delegates. His crystalline exoskeleton, normally gleaming with pride, appeared dulled and cracked. 3 of his 6 limbs trembled visibly. "You invaded Earth?" Council Prime Aetheris repeated, her voice barely above a whisper. The holographic displays around the circular chamber flickered, showing tactical readouts that made no sense. "You invaded the quarantined world?" Jakral's translator implant crackled. We didn't know. The warnings were ancient. We thought they were myths." A ripple of horror spread through the 1,000 species represented in the chamber. Earth had been quarantined for 3,000 cycles. Ever since the first survey team had made contact and promptly requested an immediate evacuation. The reports had been sealed, classified at the highest level. Only fragments remained. Warnings about a species that refused to accept the logical limitations of biology and physics. "How many ships did you send?" asked General Crix, his mandibles clicking nervously. "The entire 5th Fleet," Jakral replied. 15,000 warships. We thought it would be sufficient." Aetheris felt her 3 hearts skip a beat. "Thought?" The ambassador's primary eye dimmed. 7 ships returned. The chamber erupted in chaos. Delegates shouted in hundreds of languages, their translation implants struggling to keep pace. Aetheris raised her hand and silence gradually returned. "Explain," she commanded. Jakral activated a holographic display. Images materialized above the council floor. Images that would haunt every delegate present for the rest of their lives. We translated our demands in their dominant languages. Surrender or face annihilation. Standard protocol. His voice cracked. They laughed at us. Then they asked us to bring it on. We didn't understand the idiom at the time. The first image showed Earth's moon. Except it wasn't just a moon anymore. The humans had converted it into a weapons platform bristling with railguns that could punch through shields designed to withstand star core temperatures. "They weaponized their moon," Jakral continued. "Who does that? What kind of species looks at their planet's natural satellite and thinks, yes, this would make an excellent gun? That's not even the worst part," he added, his voice dropping. "Their planet is a death world. Class 12. We reviewed the old survey data too late. Gravity 1.3 times standard. Atmosphere with 21% reactive oxygen. Tectonic instability. Extreme weather patterns. Radiation from their star that would sterilize most civilized worlds. And they evolved there. They call it home." Ambassador Talora of the Seraphim Collective spoke up, her melodious voice strained. "Surely your ships had overwhelming firepower advantage." "We thought so," Jakral replied bitterly, "until they deployed their welcoming committee. Thousands of small craft piloted by individuals. Not AI, actual beings inside those machines. They flew them into attack formations that violated every principle of safe navigation. They pulled acceleration that should have liquefied their bodies. When we disabled their ships, they ejected and continued fighting in personal armor." He paused, his translator struggling to convey his horror. "One of them, just one, breached our flagship's hull with nothing but a cutting torch and rage. He fought through 7 decks before we stopped him. The last thing he said before dying was worth it." "They don't surrender," Jakral continued. "We analyzed thousands of their historical records during the battle. They have a saying, 'Death before dishonor.' They mean it literally. One of their warriors, surrounded and outgunned, detonated their ship's reactor to take out 3 of our dreadnoughts. The targeting solution required calculations impossible to do without AI, but they did it manually. The hologram shifted to show the aftermath of a battle near Earth's orbital stations. Debris fields stretched for thousands of kilometers, but most of the wreckage bore Viridian markings. They had prepared, Jakral said quietly. For 3,000 cycles they knew someone might come. They didn't build defenses. They built an entire civilization around the assumption of conflict. Their children learn mathematics through ballistics problems. Their greatest minds don't dream of peace. They dream of better weapons, faster ships, stronger armor. When we destroyed one of their orbital habitats, killing millions, we expected capitulation. Instead, their response was immediate. They dropped their moon's orbit by 3 degrees and used the gravitational shift to slingshot 1,000 asteroids at our fleet. Asteroids they had pre-positioned, fitted with engines and guidance systems. They had mined their own asteroid belt and turned it into ammunition. Council Prime Aetheris closed her eyes. The original survey team tried to warn us. There's more, Jakral said, his voice breaking. We captured some of their wounded, tried to interrogate them. They wouldn't talk. But they didn't stay silent either. They told us stories, tales of their wars, their conflicts, their history. Council Prime, they fought each other for thousands of cycles before they even reached space. They split atoms and nearly destroyed themselves, then kept going. They survived ice ages, plagues, disasters that would have ended any sane species. One of the prisoners, she couldn't have been more than 20 cycles old, looked at me and said, "You picked the wrong planet. We've been waiting for someone like you. We've been training for you. Our whole history has been practice for this moment." The chamber was utterly silent now, and then she smiled. Jakral whispered. She smiled and said, "Thank you for giving us a reason to unite." Aetheris felt cold despite her environmental suit's perfect temperature regulation. Where are they now? The 7 surviving ships reported that human vessels are in pursuit. The humans didn't just win, they're following us. They took our weapons, reverse-engineered our FTL drives in a matter of weeks, and now they're building a fleet. The ambassador's final words hung in the air like a death sentence. The quarantine didn't keep us out. It was keeping them in, and we just opened the door. In the horrified silence that followed, only one sound could be heard, the distant chime of an incoming message. The display showed a simple text communication in perfect galactic standard. "We're coming to talk. Prepare a seat at the council. Humanity has arrived.